Oh boy, you could cut the music whenever. This is where we're at. Bears have lost 8 in a row, unfathomable at this point, embarrassing for everyone involved. Nobody sells losing like your Chicago Bears. Welcome into the show. This is the Bear Necessities Podcast. As always, I'm John Presnowski, joined alongside my podcast co-host, my companion, my compadre, Mr. Jack Lomax. Want to thank, obviously, everybody for being a loyal listener to the program. I know this season has been absolutely brutal, just a difficult season for all of us, but we appreciate you guys sticking with us and hanging in there. Jack, how are we feeling this morning?
Like we do every week, we finish a game, we are miserable, and then we move on.
I'm still in that 24-hour period where like I'm sulking and I'm like feeling sorry for myself and I just like fucking hate everything right now. I'm still kind of going through it. I used to be the Bears fan that felt it during the game, and I have like a delayed response. Like when I'm watching the game, I don't say much. I'm watching it, unravel.
Yeah.
I'm watching it unravel, right? And then like it hits me after the game ends, and then into the next day. It's just like this weird holding pattern that I can't necessarily seem to shake. But 8 in a row, and the Detroit Lions come to town on Sunday, so should be good for 9 in a row for the Bears. I mean, truly, this has to be one of the most disappointing seasons, not just in Bears history, but like in Chicago sports history, right? Like I'm truly trying to wrap my head around a more optimistic, positive season that so many of us were looking forward to, and somehow the Bears took a step backwards this year.
You put it in a nutshell right there. That's exactly how you got to think of it. We were so optimistic coming into this season. We've got our quarterback. Our team is going to be moving forward. We got Roma Dunze. We got Keenan Allen. We did all the fancy moves. We knew we had the 2024 preseason Chicago Bears, never forget. But to fall as hard as we did, even 4-2, all them stats that we used to put up, like the NFC North is the best division. Oh, look at us, we're in there. And then just to fall like we did, that's what makes it hurt more. I think that's exactly where you're at. Disappointment. That's all we can say.
The Bears are so badly broken. This roster, it lacks talent, it lacks depth, and now that we know this is arguably the hardest division in all of the NFL, like not having a roster with depth, who does that fall on? It's the general manager. And I know right now in the season, since Eberflus isn't here for us to point the fingers anymore, a lot of fingers are being pointed towards Ryan Poles and the general manager. I just have a couple issues with last night. Number one, we all know Braxton Jones didn't get the start at left tackle. He started experiencing some concussion-like symptoms the day before. So insert your third-round pick, Karan Amagaji, who clearly shouldn't be starting at left tackle right now. He should be redshirting this year. Also, you want to talk about offensive line depth. Why wasn't Larry Borum able to play left tackle last night instead of, leaving your rookie tackle out there on an island by himself?
He's not even a left tackle by trade, is he? Isn't he by trade? He's a I guess he is. He's a tackle. I thought he was a guard. Oh, the Bears wanted him at guard.
It doesn't matter because it's not like Chris Morgan, is coaching any of these guys. It seems like all of our guys have regressed this year. Specifically, 58 Darnell Wright. I mean, I think he's having an okay season, but he should be getting better. And instead, I continue to see flashes of him missing assignments on tape, and he had one late last night in the fourth quarter, I believe. So, Jack, where things are at right now, I'm having a hard time seeing this team winning another game. And if the Bears do lose out, on a scale of 1 to 10, I'm asking you and I'm asking the audience here, how strongly do you believe that the team should move on from Ryan Poles if the Bears do, in fact, lose out?
I think it's already the wheels are in motion. My personal thought is Ryan Poles is, and it's a bad phrase, but he's a dead man walking. You are not going to give Ryan Poles another chance. How many times does a general manager have an opportunity to get a head coach and an offensive coordinator and the first round picks? He cooked. He had his moments. He had his moments when we got Caleb Williams. He had his moments when we did the DJ Moore trade. Yeah, he's had his moments. But at this point, just like Flus did phenomenal with that defense, but couldn't get us over the edge. Couldn't be that head coach that we wanted. Ryan Poles has got us to this point. I don't think he has the chance. I think he is a dead man walking. You get a new general manager in, get him to bring in the head coach that he wants. I can't see Ryan Poles being given a third chance.
Ryan Poles, we're going to get right to some tweets that blew our mind here right off the bat. Ryan Poles now holds 2 of the longest losing streaks in Bears history as general manager, where the Bears lost 14 games in the 22-23 season, and obviously that was kind of the tanking year. That was when he first took over the team, and the roster was, an absolute joke, worse than it is now by a mile. And then the Bears have lost 8 consecutive games this year. 105 years of Chicago Bears football, two of them in the last 3-4 seasons. And your general manager has been part of both of them. That's a problem. That's a problem.
I've got some information for you here. I'll surprise you with some information. He's had 3 drafts to go through. All right. If I'm looking at this draft, year 1, no number 1 pick. All right, that was the year that we traded away our number 1 pick for moving up for Justin Fields that year? I don't even remember. Gosh, it's been so long. That year, our first pick, he did really well. He started off really well. We got
it was part of the Khalil Mack deal, was what it was. We didn't have a first round pick.
Kyler Gordon, our round 2 pick, and Jaquan Brisker. But they were our 2 round 2 picks,
which I think were good picks. I really do.
The next pick. Our boy Velus Jones. The next pick, Braxton Jones. The next pick, Dominique Robinson. And then I'm not even going to bother. Oh, there's round 6, Doug Kramer's in there. Our boy Doug Kramer from last night. Just make sure he's in there. I think he had one good pick, round 7, Elijah Hicks. And that's the 2022 NFL draft. 2023, Darnell Wright. Decent pick. Not great. I think there were better options there, but Darnell Wright. Javon Dexter. He's doing phenomenal this year. We like Javon Dexter.
He was missed last night. Yep.
Yeah. Polarizing pick, but I still have a lot of faith in this guy, Tyreek Stevenson. Zach Pickens, hit and miss. Roshan Johnson, I think that's still going to be a fantastic pick in the long run. But from there, it dives. Tyler Scott, nobody on the roster. Noah Sewell, Terrell Smith, Travis Bell, Kendall Williamson. They're misses. And then the last one, 2024 NFL Draft, you've got Caleb Williams, hit. Rome Odunze, hit. Kiran Amagadej, I can't even say his last name. It's like a Harry Potter spell. My furniture starts floating. But he's Chicago's own. He's Chicago born, Chicago bred. Crap pick. I just checked it. He started the 2022 season in college as a left tackle. If that's our left tackle of the future, we're fucked. Torrey Taylor, love that guy. And Austin Booker, fantastic pick. If that's your roster from the NFL draft, if that's your roster that you've built, not worth your salt.
So, you listed the Ryan Poles draft class from the last couple seasons, right? And a thing that I immediately take away from all those picks, if you guys want to focus on one round in particular, that third round has been miss after miss after miss. Velus Jones was Ryan Poles' first offensive player ever drafted, not even on the team anymore. The second third-round pick that he had the following year was Zach Pickens, who, I'm sorry, folks, I'm not sure Zach Pickens. I'm not sure Zach Pickens is really making a name for himself on that defensive line unit.
Nope.
And his third-round pick from this past year, Karan Amagaji. Again, I'd like to think that the young man is going to learn from last night's game and hopefully, make a solid NFL career. Whether that's at the guard position, at the tackle position, he should be redshirted this year. He shouldn't be playing this year. Like, he's coming off a serious quad injury.
Yeah.
And how they just inserted him into the lineup last night, and the guy, barely practiced all week with the ones. What are we doing? Wait, truly, what are we doing? Larry Borum actually has tackle experience more than Amagaji, and I do think, physically, Amagaji has more talent than Borum. I think his handwork is better. I think he's more athletic. I think he's more stronger. But he's a rookie. He's 22 years old? What? 23? Come on, guys. What are we doing? Another local kid, another Hinsdale guy, Amagaji.
There were better offensive line depth on the that you could draft. I'm looking at even fourth round picks. Bartolini from Wisconsin. I'm pretty sure he's starting for the Colts right now. What? You've got we could have traded up a couple of picks and got Cooper. Is it Baby? I can't pronounce his name. Beebe, the guy from Kansas State, who I had as a first rounder. He's phenomenal. Yeah. Phenomenal talent. And he landed at Cowboys. Yeah. But instead we got a
would have loved to have him. Sure.
Yeah.
What I guess the theme that I'm trying to get at here is your third-round picks shouldn't be projects, Ryan Poles. They should be eventual starters. Amagaji has been a project. Zach Pickens is still a project. Velus Jones was the project that never ended until it had to end. Until he gave you no option but to end it. Right. And now he's bouncing around practice teams, practice squads from the Jaguars and the Giants and the Panthers. I don't even know what fucking team Velus is on anymore. That poor bastard. I wonder if he's picking up ferrets in every city he's going to, the Ferret King. Because Lord knows he's not seeing the field. What I'm trying to get at here is
third Panthers.
And also this is not a shot at my boy Tory Taylor, at your guy Tory Taylor. We both are Tory Taylor fans. I'm not trying to downplay this. However, we clearly have so many roster holes still to fill. You think if we went back, it would have been more wise to select an offensive line with that fourth round pick instead of Tory Taylor. It's not like Tory Taylor is saving our season. And sure, we have a punter for the future. That's great. But, you want to talk about resources and spending your assets on things you actually need. Do we actually need a punter? I mean, of course, we need an upgrade from Trenton Gill from the last year. But given the circumstances that we've seen this year and how fucking terrible our offensive line is, you think Poles might have done it a little differently if we go back. But of course we can't go back in time because that's not how life works.
Well, look at that now though, John. So with our history that we have, because now we have a track record, we have records that we can check. We have past experiences. Has Ryan Poles done enough to justify Mr. Warren himself, Kevin Warren, and George McCaskey, demon in charge? Has he shown enough that he's okay, you're going to get this right with our offensive line in the free agency. You're going to get this right in this all-important draft. I said this in the last podcast. I think this offseason is going to be our most important for the next 10 years. It's going to make or break our next 10 years. Do you give the keys to the franchise to the man that's done the work that he's done? He's had one good one with the DJ Moore trade and trading away the Bryce Young pick. But outside of that, I can't justify it.
I think we've both been on record saying that we are Poles' fans. However,
we are Poles fans. We are Poles fans.
However, as time has moved forward, and I've been thinking and I've been reflecting, I don't know if I'm as impressed with his body of work as I thought I was. And again, and we talked about it on last week's show, like, do we truly know what a good general manager is? I mean, truly. Because the last couple guys we've had have been worse than Poles. So, of course, we're going to elevate Poles to Chef Poles and let him cook. But I urge you, Jack, and I urge all the listeners, be more skeptical. If a new guy is hired as head coach and general manager for your Bears, be skeptical. Don't automatically just crown them as winners. Don't automatically crown them as this is going to be the guy to do it. What body of work does he have? I listed the last 2 longest losing streaks in Bears history Ryan Poles is a part of. Is that all on him? Is that also an Eberflus problem? Yes. But who brought Eberflus in the building?
Starts from the top. Yeah.
Who brought him in the building? Be more skeptical. Nobody sells losing like your Chicago Bears. This is the dark age of Chicago sports. Every team in this fucking city right now is selling you losing and wanting you to buy their product. And they're asking you, hey, we know it's hard right now. We're losing right now because in order to lose right now, we're going to get better. I truly feel like there's not a general manager in this city that is doing their job the right way. And should buy your trust in letting you know it's going to get better. I'm having a really hard time this morning backing Ryan Poles' body of work. I gave him the benefit of the doubt the first year that roster overhaul needed to happen. The Carolina pick, guys, great trade, but it was also really dumb. And the lack of confidence and ineptitude by David Tepper and the Carolina Panthers organization, they gave us a gift. I don't know if that was really Poles' doing. And also us lucking into the number 1 pick another year in a row. I mean, that was luck. That wasn't Poles. He chose the right trade partner. I'll give him that. But ever since the Hail Mary play, Tyreek Stevenson, I mean, his confidence, his level of play has been off the rails. Yes, you want to talk about giving a gift? He was given a gift of an interception last night. Also, I'm sorry. Your team has lost 7 in a row in the moment, now 8 in a row, and you're doing the skull chant to one of the best teams in the league on their, like, get the fuck off the field, dude. Go back to the sideline. Like, I'm sorry. Truly, our guys are more. I feel like they've put more time in doing celebrations for sacks and interceptions than they have actually, diving into the playbook and performing well on the field.
Personal accolade. That's what they're looking at. They look. I got a sack. I've padded my stats. Yay me. That's not a team play.
I'm having a hard time this morning backing Ryan Poles, and if we were told that Ryan Poles gets to choose the next head coach, and then we were told that although he's going to hire this guy, it's not going to work, would you really trust him to do it? If we knew it wasn't going to work, would you really want him to do it? Be skeptical. I urge everybody out there, don't just crown Ryan Poles for all the great things he's done for the organization. I want you to also think about where the Bears are right now, how they're constructed right now. It's not good enough. It's not good enough. We've never been able to close the gap to Green Bay. And Minnesota continues to get better. The Lions, look at where they are. They're the best team in the league, arguably. I know they just lost to the Bills, but they're still up there. They're one of the best teams in the league.
They lost to the Bills with 21 players on injury reserve, with 3 more getting added. So, I mean, the fact that we're the top of our league, yeah.
And we're David Montgomery fans here, and obviously David Montgomery's going to be out for quite some time. His season seems to be over in Detroit. Feel for Monty. I'm just having a really hard time this morning backing Ryan Poles where things are currently at. And if you were told that Ben Johnson would take the job here and would be head coach, but Ryan Poles has to go, it'd be a no-brainer for me. I wouldn't hesitate. Whoever Ben Johnson wants as his general manager, bring him in.
Well, you saw, right?
Bring
Ben
him
Johnson, it got leaked. I think we've talked about this on a previous podcast. It got leaked out that Ben Johnson's requirements for wherever he goes was whatever his paycheck was, which I think that's bullshit. I don't think he's asked for $20 million. But he did say one of the things was he wants to ask, one of the main questions is, why did it go wrong that season, and what are you doing to fix it? That was directed at Chicago Bears. And Ryan Poles, that wasn't directed to Ryan Poles, it was directed to Warren. What is going wrong with your general manager, and what is going to go on to fix the team? He is not going to join a team that has an inept general manager. And we have said this. I am a Ryan Poles fan. I like him as a person. He is a very good person. He is very relatable. The players like him. But at the end of the day, it's a business. And if you are not doing well in your business, you are gone. And he has had multiple opportunities. The fact that he's on borrowed time. He is a dead man walking, John. And truly, I hope he does well wherever he lands next as a advisory member of the Carolina Panthers or wherever else he lands. I don't care. But if you want the guy, let's not even play it hard. Let's not say, we want Mike Vrabel. We want this person. We want this person. Do the smart pick. Get Ben Johnson in. Get someone that Ben Johnson knows. There's general managers out there that will adhere to what Ben Johnson wants. Do it. Let's be the easy pick. Don't overthink this bullshit.
I think what's frustrating right now is we're a week away from Christmas. I don't think the coaching pool, the head coach NFL vacancy coaching pool, I don't think it's quite full yet. We're throwing all these hypotheticals out. There could be a name or two out there that we don't know is coming yet. So I want the Bears to treat this as like the homework project of the summer. Take your time. Like don't just don't just hire a guy right away because like that's what you feel like you have to do. Take your time. Also, we're talking all about Ryan Poles right now. I mean, my gut tells me he isn't going anywhere. My gut tells me he is going to stay. Truly. Because George McCaskey, who Monday Night Football production crew had a show, looming down from the stands, watching the product on the field, that you're the fucking problem with. Like, you are one of the sole main reasons why this team has been dog shit for the last 15 years, because you continue to put the wrong people at the top to run your organization. But sure, continue to sulk and pout up there. Fucking George McCaskey, dude. Guy's such a clown. I can't. I literally can't. I can't.
I'm looking at the teams here, John. Looking at the teams. We have, again, looking at these teams here, I would say, arguably have the best opportunity for the next head coach. Like,
you'd think.
I truly do, because I think the only other team that's probably going to lose its head coach at this point is probably the Saints, because they've already got an interim person. And if I'm interested in the Saints organization or the Bears organization and the pieces that are in there, you've got Derek Carr as QB. I think we trump him. Yes, Alvin Kamara is a phenomenal running back,
but his better days are behind him.
Chris Olave, we don't even know if he's going to see the field again. You haven't got a roster to build around. Right now they're in a strong rebuilding process. Yeah. And I think Ben Johnson wants to land at a team where he can hit the ground running. It's already got the pieces in place. It just needs coaching. Coaching matters. We need to patent that. And the pieces. That's essentially it. Yeah. We are the spot. Or the Jags. Forget about it.
So I think another thing that's so frustrating right now is, last year, we finished with 7 wins, right? And we were looking ahead to the draft, knowing where we were going to draft. This year, the Bears are in no man's land. We've lost 8 in a row, and we're 9th. We have the 9th pick in the draft if the season ended right now. I mean, you know, there's teams still ahead of us that are going to have better draft positioning, like the Jets, the Browns, the Titans, the Panthers, the Jags, the Patriots, the Giants, and the Raiders. So, I mean, outside the Giants and the Raiders, I mean, like we are a mess. I think we're shitty enough to have a top 5 pick, but we're not going to be granted that selection. So somehow we've gone 25 minutes and we haven't even mentioned Caleb Williams' name. We're going to get to the good, the bad, the ugly really quick here. The good, I wanted to say some honorable mentions about the good. I did see a couple guys on defense that showed really good effort last night. Number one was DeMarcus Walker. I kept seeing 95 in the backfield. He had a couple quarterback pressures. Really solid game from 95. I thought TJ Edwards also flashed on a couple plays. Yeah, he had a couple missed tackles, but 53 always shows good effort. Kyler Gordon, you want to talk about, I mean, like truly, I think one of the most underrated draft picks of the Ryan Poles era, the first ever draft pick of the Ryan Poles 10-year era was Kyler Gordon. And when he's healthy and he's flying all over the field, Kyler Gordon is a really, really good nickel player in this league. And DJ Moore, when he was given the ball, I thought DJ Moore did anything he could to get yards last night, even handing the ball off to DJ Moore last night, which I actually kind of loved. I mean, and at this point in the season, what do you have to lose other than him? I pray to God he doesn't break an ankle right now. Like that'd be awful. But I did see some good from last night. And again, guys, you're listening to the Bear Necessities podcast. Please like, subscribe, comment, and feed the algorithm. Feedback is a gift. And make sure you guys check us out on YouTube, on Apple, on Spotify, wherever you guys get your podcasts. Let's get to the bad. Karana Magaji, bad. I mean, after that strip sack last night, you just knew it was going to be a long night, right?
Yep.
You just knew it. Drop passes, again, specifically from Keenan Allen. And, he had a couple nice grabs, especially that toe drag one on the sideline, but it's just that kind of year. And although I'm frustrated that Keenan Allen's dropping as many balls as he is, it's just been that kind of year. And we're potentially a future Hall of Famer. Like, this is a wasted year for him. I feel bad. I truly feel bad for him. I really do. And then another thing that was just terrible is Caleb Williams just running for his life, not Caleb himself. And that was not a good game by Caleb by any means. 18 for 31, 191 yards. He had that bullshit, touchdown at the end to Keenan. Definitely wasn't the best game by Caleb, but literally Caleb was running around for his life on multiple occasions. It seems like he got sacked like 7 times. We only got sacked twice, which is crazy. Doesn't it seem like he got sacked more?
Yeah, wow. And that's the thing with Caleb Williams, right? He's not a man lacking confidence. He isn't. He is a man that is falling into some bad habits, and I keep hearing people say, put Bajan in for the rest of the season, let's just look at 2020. No, give the man his hours. He is a competitive man. Keep him on the field. Yes, he's developing some bad habits. We're going to have a new head coach, a new quarterback coach. That's habits that are going to be gone in 2025. Let the man get his experience. Let the man get his gel with his wide receivers still. He overthrew a lot. He missed some blatant passes. There were some very open moments for Roma Dunze, for DJ, for Keenan that, we could have got an easy first down. But at the same time, he hasn't got his eyes down the field. He's doing what Justin Fields ended up doing towards the end of the season. He is too busy worried about that sack because the offensive line is not good. You win games in the trenches. Right, so he has got his mindset is, I'm going to have to scramble first because I don't have the time to throw the ball, and it's true, and that's why you're seeing them passes that are being overthrown or them passes that are askew. I don't put that on Caleb. He's a phenomenal talent. We've seen it. I put that down onto a bad offensive line. That offensive line gets fixed. Caleb's gets fixed. The wheels are moving, but you're right. Caleb's not his best game last night.
Can we end the Doug Kramer experience also? Can we just end it? I do want to credit the young man. Post game, he was interviewed and he owned it and said, "I take full responsibility. Yeah. I didn't." DeAndre Swift had a goal line touchdown, pretty much wiped away because Doug Kramer Your insert your new goal line fullback, who's not a fullback because the Bears cut Kari Blasingame earlier in the year, who would have gone in and reported, obviously.
Yeah.
But besides the point, and he owned it, saying, I apologize to my teammates. That can't happen. Yada yada. Like, can we just end the Doug Kramer thing? Like, another local boy. Like, can we just end it, please? And also, I think I'm with you, Jack. I would love to see Thomas Brown go back in the booth, because whatever he was doing in the booth, I thought the offense was able to move the ball a little bit more efficiently, because both fourth and goal situations for the Bears last night, Thomas Brown, the running plays that he's calling, it's not working. First you're going to call a halfback toss out to Amagagi, your rookie left tackle side. Like, why? And then your second play, you're doing like a halfback misdirection where you have Tevin Jenkins pulling, and it takes a second to pull your guard. And I'm sorry, but our offensive line, like, truly, our running game, we don't have the talent to do that right now. We don't have the talent to do that, because 65 is a liability, 75 is 79 is a liability. Your right guard. It's a fucking mess, man. It's a mess. I just thought the play calling in the first half has just been brutal. And speaking of offense in the first quarter, some tweets that blew our mind. The Bears' offense stats in the first quarter of this season: total yards, 614 total yards. The Bears' opponents, 1,357 total yards. The Bears have 36 first downs in the first quarter this year. Their opponents, 71 in the first quarter. Bears have only scored 20 points total in the first quarter. Their opponents, 73. Since Thanksgiving, the Bears have been outscored 53-0 in the first half. Brutal. Brutal. In the past 4 games, this is how you know we're down bad, folks. The Bears have given up a league-high 121 points and a league-high 1,638 yards on offense to opposing teams. So the Matt Eberflus defense that he installed, it is long gone since he's been let go, and this team's just been spiraling. They have been spiraling since that Hail Mary play. They have not been able to recover. We keep mentioning it. And it's just crazy again, and it's also just crazy to see just how every team in our division continues to find ways to get better. Since 2013, the number of times NFC North teams have won 4 games in a row. The Packers have done it 13 times. The Vikings 8, the Lions 5 times. Our Bears only twice, and that was in the same year back in 2018, Matt Nagy's inaugural season. And what's crazy, we have 3 more of these games. We have 3 more to go. I truly have never been more ready for a season to come to an end. Back in 22 when it was Eberflus's and Poles' first year and our roster was shit. Like, at least I knew we were supposed to lose. But like, this is different. This is painful. This is true torture. This is torture. Like, I don't wish this upon my worst enemies.
I will say, I know we had the Thomas Brown experiment. Let's see how it goes. Phenomenal in the booth, not as good on the sideline. And I think I know we gave him 6 games. I've seen enough in 2. Thomas Brown was not going to be the head coach of the Chicago Bears, and if he is, and Ryan Poles stays and Thomas Brown stays, I don't know if I could watch the team next year.
Here's where I'm going to argue with you. I truly don't think any of this has anything to do with Thomas Brown. Thomas Brown's being put in an impossible situation. You bring him down from the booth, and now he's expected to call plays from the sideline, and on top of that, be responsible for the whole team, on the sideline.
I'm with you. He is a booth coordinator. Bringing him down to the sideline, that is not his bread and butter. If we kept him up in the booth, calling the plays from the booth, being able to see what he can see from that angle, I actually think our offense would have been in a better position. But that's not what the game was. The game was we need to give him a little mini audition to see if he could be our head coach, because he has been promising as an offensive coordinator. Not the ball. Unfortunately, I think he'll. Fortunately for Thomas Brown, I think he will end up as an OC somewhere. And I hope he does. I hope he gets a shot as an OC somewhere in the league, and I truly think he's a great guy, and it'll be phenomenal in the booth, not on the sideline.
So here comes the Detroit Lions this upcoming Sunday, and after Sunday, the Bears have a short week. One of the last Amazon Prime games of the year. We host the Seahawks next Thursday night. So yippee! More Bears football and more Bears football in prime time for all of us to enjoy, and it's going to be one hell of a night right after Christmas. Getting to watch our Bears get blown out by the Seahawks. On the 26th. So upcoming game. Can we just forfeit for Sunday? Is that possible?
I'm not looking forward to it.
So I know the Lions are banged up, and Jared Goff does not play well typically at Soldier Field. Is there any reason for optimism? I mean, truly, is there anything we can look forward to on Sunday, or just throw a fork in it? Like we're done. Like can it be Black Monday already? So
I don't care about the Detroit game. I don't think we're going to do anything with the Detroit game. The one that I'm circling right now is that Green Bay game. I know we've got a few more weeks until that, but it would the one thing. It's not optimism. It's just the one thing I'm looking forward to, and it's. We will use the word optimism. I hope we ruin the Green Bay Packers season. I hope that's a game that they need to win in order to make playoffs or whatever, and we ruin it.
Oh, they're making playoffs. It would just ruin seeding. I mean, they're in. They're in. I mean, after they beat the Seahawks on Sunday night, the other night, they clinched, I believe, NFL, if I'm not mistaken. So
playoff picture.
They might not have clinched, but I mean, the only thing the Bears will be able to ruin for Green Bay at the end of the year is seeding. Like Green Bay is in. Like it's.
Oh yeah, they've got a probability of 99%.
There's nothing we can do to really, take it to them. So
let's give him the hardest game. Let's do it.
So obviously the optimism in this week's show hasn't been there, and rightfully so. I told you before we hopped on, I'm like, man, I do not have it today. I don't have it today. This team has worn me out, ladies and gentlemen. I am a beaten man. Like there's so much, I think, as Bears fans, as Chicago sports fans these days, that we can truly take. And this year has just been it's just been one of them. It's just been one of those years where just can't catch a fucking break. And I continue to say this, like, why is our loyalty tested as much as it has? I truly wish I could test free agency myself and like think about and debate, like, could I root for another NFL franchise? I lived in Denver for a couple of years. I tried being a Broncos fan. It didn't really work out. It was kind of confusing. The Bears and Broncos have very similar color schemes, color patterns. I tried. It didn't really work out. I don't know how to not root for the Bears. I don't know how to live in a world where I
root for another team. Yeah.
Where I root for another team, and I try to not get my hopes up. And what do? They constantly crush my hopes and dreams and rip my heart out and watch me bleed out. Because that's what the Bears do. That's what they've done our whole lives. And this is where we're at. So 3 more games, guys. Hang in there. I know it's been absolutely miserable, unfathomable. This has been one of the most disappointing seasons in some recent time, but we still have each other. And hang out with your loved ones. Enjoy some family time. And don't focus so much on Bears football. Just not worth it right now. But we appreciate you guys tuning into the show. Again, make sure you guys check us out on Apple, on Spotify, on YouTube, wherever you guys get your podcasts. He's Jack Lomax. I'm John Presnowski. This has been the Bear Necessities Podcast. Be good, be well, and don't forget to bear down.